Wombats are incredibly densely boned animals, all right? They're one of those things that you're always wrong about the size.
Yeah, how big are they?
Large. They're very large. Wombats are very big. Some things are just the wrong size. Bears are either too small or too big. There's no like the bear that's the right size. There's either the really giant bears or like the small bears. Rock bears that's not a thing. If you can't take me seriously, then how are we going to make a review of this game? Welcome to Zarnia for Games and Geekery. This is Born to be Wild. Are we born to be wild?
We're bored to be wild.
Oh, we're born to be wild. Oh man, I messed up. Born to be wild. Don't sue us, thank you. We are talking today about the game Anno 1800.
1800.
Is that right? It's not like Anno 1800.
No, it's 1800. It is the year 1800.
No, I say, it's Anno 1800. What?
We unboxed today Anno 1800 and we sat down, we played myself and Adhil and of course Mikhail. You never see Mikhail, he's hiding behind the... No, don't do that.
Hi,
Mikhail. Ruined the shot. Edit that out, Mikhail. Edit it out.
We'll sort it out in post.
So we sat down and we played a lengthy game of this beast. Fresh out of the box. What was it like unboxing this? What sense did it give you?
It was kind of odd because I opened the box and I've actually played the game before I unboxed it and saw a lot of space in the box. It just felt like there wasn't that much stuff. But then as we started punching it, there was just more and more and more.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, it was a huge amount of stuff.
Yeah.
When I first saw a picture of this game, I knew I had to have it. And it was something that was just so kind of visceral. There was something about the kind of tiles, the cubes, the combination of it all. And of course, one of my favorite designers in Martin Wallace.
You didn't come here in this as a fan of the computer game.
No, and in fact, before this board game came out, I hadn't even heard of the computer game, and until today, I hadn't even looked at it. And you know, it looks like a pretty standard civ building game where you can make different industries and you can build ships and all that kind of stuff. Odd to me that the board game, does a lot of the same stuff, but infinitely more interesting to me.
Okay, is it the social aspect? What is it?
I don't know. I mean, certainly the cubes help a lot, right? So, like for me, little colored cubes on the board, very appealing. Building your own tableau, having a very unique set of industries and avenues that you've explored. That is interesting to me, and I think that the video game in many ways feels a little bit more solo. So maybe it is to some extent that social piece as well.
You like to hang out with people.
I do.
You know, and you like physical media. You like to have your little ship right here and
exactly.
Yeah, there it is. Cute. So that's out of the box. I was overwhelmed by the sheer number of bits and pieces and bobbles, but for the most part, everything has a place and it's in its right place. And that gave it a lot of order for me, this kind of, these templates where you could lay everything out.
And I found it interesting that the game doesn't scale in terms of if you're playing with 2 players or if you're playing with 4 players, that you have to take certain things out or whatever. Actually, everything on the board goes out, no matter how many players you're playing with. So I thought that was also quite interesting. There's always 2 of each industry. The chains are very cool. Like you look at all the stuff, but actually most of it you can't do in the early part of the game. There's a certain tech tree that goes through the whole game. You have to have certain of the industries to be able to get to certain other ones. If you want to get to some of these exotic goods like chocolate or cigars, you need to then trade overseas to get that. So you have to go to the new world and discover some new places and new trade routes to be able to do that. And also the idea of trading with other players at the table.
Yeah.
We call it trade, but it's like, you've got it, I'll take it, and you get a gold. And I don't have to pay that gold, I have to pay a trade token to be able to get that. So like that element is also quite interesting to try and anticipate what other people at the table are going to pick up, which industries they're going to go for. And we haven't talked really about the main mechanic of the game. Like the main thing that you're doing throughout the game is you're playing cards out of your hand. And that makes it a race mechanic because whoever finishes all the cards in their hand, like if you play out all the cards from your hand, you will trigger the end of the game. And so that's what the race is. You start with 9 cards. After something like 2 hours, we still had 9, 10, 11 cards in hand, right? And that's because a lot of these cards actually give you more cards.
Yeah.
So the cards really represent population in the game. So if you're thinking about it as a civilization building game, we're building the tableau which has industries, different factories and things like that, but you're also playing out these population, and some of the population you will upgrade them from farmers into workers, into artisans, and all the way up to investors.
Ah yes, the highest achievement of humankind, becoming an investor.
Dollar bills, yeah.
So this game offers a lot of different strategies. It's a tech builder, but it's also a resource manager, and it's a race, and. How do you win?
When you do trigger the end of the game, you get some points for that. You get this fireworks token, which is worth 7 points. You're also then going to count up all of the population cards that you managed to accumulate during the game and managed to complete. There's a kind of recipe on there. If you've managed to complete them, they count towards either 3 points, 5 points, or 8 points. You count all of that up. You also have some objective cards that are played out at the start of the game, and that gives each game a slightly different feel. So some of them, for example, here, if you had the most population, you would get 10 points at the end of the game. And this one incentivizes certain of the industries. So you'd get 6 points in this case for certain industries. And apart from that, you also have these expedition cards, which will give you points for the cubes of different colors that you place on them at the end of the game. Yeah. So you would assign them, and they would have specific colors that you're allowed to put on there, and they're worth a certain number of points. So either 1, 2, or 3, and some of the objectives can interact with that. So this one, for example, gives you extra points for any artifacts that you had.
Got a taper. A tapir.
A tapir.
Tapper? Tapir.
Hey, give me that banana. Yum, yum, yum. Oh, I dropped it.
So what's the genre?
Well, it's a Euro game at heart, right? So there's not a huge amount of theme. It's not dripping with theme. There are lots of pictures and all of that. But I think that the key aspect is moving these cubes around the board. And so people might call it a cube pusher. And people use that phrase in quite a derogatory way, because it's just sort of saying, that's all you're doing is moving cubes around.
That seems really unfair. I mean, that's basically how they built the pyramids. Yeah.
Fair point. And in this game, there are no pyramids, though.
On the other hand, wombats do pass cube poo. That's true. Their poop is square. It says cube poop. Wombats are the original cube pushers. Anyhow.
What did you like about this game?
Okay, so as a first-timer, I like that despite how much stuff was going on here, it was quite easy to pick up. I liked that the turns came fast. You could do only one thing on your turn, and you had to think of it, and it actually made it, despite being a long game, it made it move quickly.
And one of the things that gives it that tension is that you can't do everything that you want, right? So you're always thinking, what am I doing and what do I not do with my turn? And it always felt like you had a few more turns to go, and then the end actually comes quicker than you think in the end.
Especially because you need to be counting other people's cards. I had my card in my hand, 7 cards, and I knew it was going to take 7 rounds to do. I look over at you, and you got 3 cards in your hand. And what am I going to do? I've lost the race. The race is over by that stage. I would think if there's one thing I would change about that, some more kind of late game upset kind of mechanic, that just allows that runaway game to, I actually just want a system that I would
Which says Jon wins.
Let me win.
Yeah.
What did you love about the game?
I really liked trying to work out which industries to invest in. Because in your early hand, you see some symbols that are quite common, and you sort of think, okay, maybe if I build those ones, then it's going to help me. But you also have to be looking out at what everyone else is building. So I liked how much there was to try and keep in your head at the same time.
Yeah. I had too much to keep in my head. I just have a very small skull. You know.
Sort of like a wombat.
It looked very intimidating, but I actually loved it, even though I didn't win.
What?
I didn't win.
The first play and you didn't win?
Yeah, I know. I'm incredibly lucky usually, so I don't know what happened here.
Well, someone's got to lose.
Okay, and it had to be me. It's not that old.
Oh.
It's just whatever, wombat. All right, please like, share, and subscribe. And please, if you have any stories about wombats, please share them in the comments. Also, if there is a game that you would like us to review, play, let us know what it is, and we will try to get our hands on it. Great. We will see you
Next time.
We'll just see you. Ominous.
We'll never see them.
I'm sorry, my brain just went blank.
Oh, it's another banana.
Of all medical professions, that the colоnologists, or whatever, what are they called?
Proctologists.
The proctologists, they make the most money. In fact, like...
Well, it's a shitty job.
It's a shitty job. But like, you know, like the one I went to, he's apparently went through like so many great fast cars. The problem is he wrecked them.
That is a long joke with some interesting...
But it's got a nice ring to it.
Yeah.